Good evening. This episode, or second part two of the Poor Man's Pro Street build, I'm going to talk a little bit about the cylinder heads I'm using. These are some 416 305 cylinder heads. They are 58 cc's. I think they're early 80s. Maybe high output 305 small block Chevy, or maybe just regular passenger car. I've read both. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, 58 cc, so decent compression. 184 intake valve, 1.5 exhaust. So yeah, these heads cost just a little over $100 for me. They go around Facebook Marketplace for relatively inexpensive. I did get pretty lucky because these seem to be in really good shape, like almost no play in the guides at all. I got some cheap Elgin valves off eBay for I think 100 Canadian, 80 something US. But yeah, so I done porting this one. All I did really was take some advice off of Speed Talk forums. There's a user called FBird88. He's a Canadian as well, somewhere in southern Ontario, I think. But I was pretty much reading about what he did with these heads. He opened up this bowl area to about 1.62, I believe. He said 0.88 to 0.91 of the, or so 88 to 91% of the total intake valve diameter, which came out to about 1.62. And then I just used a little telescoping gauge to sort of feel my way until I almost got it. I went overboard a little bit on it. It's probably like 1.63 or something. Yeah, I did that, and then I cleaned up all the surfaces with a carbide burr. I took down the guide boss a decent amount. Yeah, so we'll see how that does. It's not like I'm expecting huge gains, but it was kind of fun to do, fun to practice. I hadn't really done a set of heads like this before. So I'm just going to show off my headlamp here. So it was good to learn a little bit about doing that. Let's take a look at the intake runners, because I did a little bit of there as well. Alright, so the intake runner, 1 second. Intake runner, I used some more advice off the forums, and I opened them up widthwise to about the diameter of a quarter, like literally a piece of change quarter. Don't know how that's going to work out, but I mean it seemed reasonable enough. Hold on just a sec. Seemed reasonable enough to use the quarter. I just basically took down the push rod pinch a little bit there, and then I smoothed out the floors, smoothed out the roof, all that good stuff, and I finished it off with like an 80 grit sandpaper roll. It's kind of smooth, but not too smooth. And I opened up the opening to a 1205 Felpro gasket here, so it's probably a little bit big, honestly. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe one day I'll use a massive Victor Jr. type intake, and it'll match up good with some big intake manifold ports. The intake I'm actually planning on using is a Wyand Stealth. I found it on eBay today, and it was. I have an auction bid up for it for like 100 and I think it's 100 US, 150 Canadian. If I win the auction, I'll get that intake, and it's like a true dual plane with the center divider all the way up, which I think, although it's not going to be like a full high RPM race deal, it'll help with the big cam that's going in this engine to make it a little bit more streetable, but still really have a lot of pull from that like say 3,000 to 6,000 range, which is kind of like where I want this engine to hit really hard. That's pretty much it for the intake. I'll do a quick thing on the exhaust. The exhaust I didn't do as much modification, it was mostly just cleaning. So I just basically smoothed, I got rid of any sort of valve ridge in here, which I did also for the intake. I got rid of that big ugly cut where they like do the rough cut for the valve seats. So I got rid of that. Let's get the light in there. There we go. So I got rid of that on all the exhaust ports, and then I cleaned up, got rid of the sharp edge on the inside short radius here. Cleaned up the that port, took down the boss again, and then on the exits, I just basically smoothed them. I just smoothed them up with the carbide cutter, and finish it off with the 80 grit sandpaper roll again. So the exhausts look a lot smoother than they did at start. They're pretty rough, very rough. So, maybe that'll help out a little bit. Either way, again, just fun practice. So that's one of two heads. The other one I have partway done. I got some valve seals as well. Got this style, I don't know what to call that, but it was like the correct one that came up for an early 80s small block Chevy. I think I found it through Summit, and then I ended up buying them off of Amazon, like $20 each. So anyway, yeah, I'll do that last after I give them a quick clean. I'll finish up with the valves, and next time we'll talk about maybe the cam. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyways, thanks for watching. Take care.